More and more homeowners are taking their homes off the market. And when you hear that, it's easy to assume that something very dramatic is happening. Are sellers giving up? Is the housing market crashing? Are buyers just disappearing? Not exactly. And if you're thinking about selling a home here in Jacksonville or anywhere in the Northeast Florida area, this is something that you need to understand before you put a sign in the front yard. Because today's real estate market, homes are still selling, but not every home is selling. And that's a very different market than the one that we had a few years ago. A recent report showed that more sellers are pulling their homes off the market than we've seen in quite some time. And at first, that might sound concerning. It might sound like sellers know something that buyers don't. It may sound like people are just giving up on the housing market. But when you look a little closer, the story is much more practical. A lot of home sellers are taking their homes off the market, but not because the market is crashing. They're taking them off the market because their original strategy just didn't work. Maybe the home was priced too high. Maybe the photos didn't create enough interest, and I see that a lot. Maybe the house needed repairs or preparation before going live. Maybe the marketing didn't reach enough of the right home buyers. Or maybe the seller was still thinking like it was 2021 or 2022 when almost anything would sell quickly if you just put it on the market. That is not the market that we're in anymore. Today's home buyers are more cautious. They're looking closely at the monthly payment. They're comparing your home to other homes in the same price range. They're paying attention to condition. They're thinking about insurance cost. They're watching interest rates. And if a home feels even slightly overpriced, dated, poorly presented, or like it needs too much work, many home buyers won't even make a lowball offer. They'll just simply move on to the next one. And that's one of the biggest differences in today's real estate market. A few years ago, home sellers could sometimes just test the market by pricing high and still get activity. Today, if you miss the market will ignore you. And that's usually when frustration sets in. A seller lists their home on the market. The first week goes by. Maybe there's some showings, but there's no offers. Then the second week. Then the third week, same thing. Then the feedback starts sounding very familiar, like nice house, but they bought something else. The buyer liked the house, but they felt it was priced too high. The buyer was concerned about the condition of the home, or the house smells like cigarette smoke. And eventually the seller starts asking themselves,
should we just take the house off the market?
That doesn't always mean that the seller failed. Sometimes it just means that the first plan didn't match the current market. And there's a big difference because many of these home sellers are not gone forever. A lot of the homes that are taken off the market come back later, and sometimes they come back with a better price. Sometimes they come back with better photos. And sometimes they come back after staging, repairs, cleaning, decluttering, or a stronger marketing plan is put into place. Sometimes the home seller simply needed a break and they regrouped and came back with a more realistic approach. And that matters because taking a home off the market is not always a sign of panic. Sometimes it's just a reset. And in real estate, the right adjustment can make all the difference in the world. Here in Northeast Florida, we are not looking at a crashing real estate market. According to the Northeast Florida Association of Realtors, the May 2026 market across Northeast Florida still showed steady activity with homes selling, inventory available, plenty of it, and home buyers still in the market. But we are in a more selective market, and that means that home sellers need to be more strategic. If you're selling a home in Jacksonville or anywhere around Northeast Florida, you can't just base your price on what your neighbor got 2 or 3 years ago. You have to look at what home buyers are actually choosing right now. That means looking at active competition. It means looking at homes that recently went under contract. It means looking at all the homes that reduced their price lately. And it definitely means looking at all the homes that expired, canceled, or those that were withdrawn, because those homes are telling you something. They are showing you exactly where the buyers said no.
I said no. Why not?
And one of the biggest mistakes sellers make is only looking at the successful sales. Sold homes matter a bunch, but failed listings matter too. They help tell the full story. So what should you do if you're thinking about selling? Number one, price your home for the market you're in, not the market you wish you were in. Number two, prepare the home before it goes live. And that doesn't always mean major renovations. Sometimes it means just decluttering, cleaning, improving the curb appeal, handling obvious repairs, and making sure the home photographs very well. Number three, pay attention early. The first couple of weeks matter. Now, if you have showings and no offers, that tells us one thing. If you have no showings at all, that tells us something else entirely. But either way, the market is giving you feedback. The worst thing that a home seller can do is ignore that feedback until the listing gets stale. Now, before we get into number four, do you have any questions about real estate? Maybe questions about buying a home or selling one or just general real estate information. Let me know in the comment section below. I am always looking for ideas on what videos people like and what they might want to see. So number four, and very important, make sure you have a clear marketing plan. In this market, exposure matters, video matters, presentation matters, pricing matters, and the strategy behind the listing matters. So when you hear that more sellers are taking their homes off the market, don't automatically assume that the market is crashing. What it really means is this: the market has changed. Home buyers are being more careful, and sellers who don't adjust may end up sitting for a while. But the sellers who price correctly, prepare properly, and market aggressively, well, they can still be very successful. So if you're thinking about selling a home in Jacksonville or anywhere in the Northeast Florida area and you want an honest look at what your home could sell for in today's market, reach out to Cindy and me. We'll show you the sold homes, the active competition, and just importantly, the homes that didn't sell. That way you can make a smart, informed decision before you go on the market, not after months of frustration.